Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome to the Season 4 review. So, I was meant to come back for the Stoke City game, however, it didn't go very well, so I thought I'd just skip that and just get to the Season 4 review. After losing to AC Milan in the semi-final, it killed my buzz a little bit, and I just wanted to get this season done and ready to next year. Let's have a quick look at how the season's gone. So in the Premier League, as you will have known from the AC Milan game, we have finished in 7th place. Finished 5 points behind Manchester United, qualifying for the Europa League once again, which is brilliant news. In the Europa League this year, we did finish in the semi-final. We are expected to finish in the first round, reach the first knockout round, so we've overachieved there. Ben Falami scored 7 goals for us in this cup. The Emirates FA Cup, we were expected to reach the 5th round. We got knocked out in the 4th round by Wolverhampton Wanderers. Of course, the FA Cup was, both our domestic cups were opportunities for the younger players and the fringe players to get a chance to impress, which is why we were knocked out earlier than we would have liked, really. Carabao Cup, we expect to reach the 4th round. We were knocked out in the 3rd round by Southampton. Going back to the Premier League, we were expected to finish in the top half by the board. We have achieved that comfortably, and also, according to the media prediction, we were predicted to finish 15th, so we have well overachieved what the media were expecting us to do. If we just go on to the Premier League table here and go to the stages, we can go back to the first season on the game, and the top 6, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United, Man City and Liverpool. These top 6 teams have been the top 6 each season so far. First season, 7th place, was 8 points behind. Second season, they were 12 points behind. Third season, that was obviously us finishing 7th, we were finished 11 points behind, and just this year we have finished 5 points behind. So the top 6, as is very evident, is the goal here, to try and break into that top 6 and upset the apple cart. We're closing the gap, only 5 points behind the top 6 this season. To be honest, I want to break into that top 6 next season and maybe even push for that 4th or 3rd Champions League spots. I think with a couple of decent players brought in, we could definitely push, because we've got some young players coming up and they're going to be good rotated players next year, and our squad is getting stronger as a whole. So goals scored in the league, we finished 2nd highest scorers in the league with 79 goals, only 3 goals behind the champions Liverpool on 82 goals. However, if we go to defending, we can see that we have also conceded a lot as well. If we go down to the bottom, we conceded the 3rd amount of goals in the whole league. So if the league was judged on goals scored, we would have been relegated. So it shows the area we need to concentrate on improving. Defence is on my mind. I do want to improve defence. I'm looking at maybe a centre back to replace either Davies or Watmore. I think as Davies is slightly better ability and he is our captain, I think Watmore naturally is the defender we'll be looking to replace. And also I want to improve that left back spot. Empis has been brilliant. We brought Matt Target in to push for the first team spot. He didn't play very well at all, which meant Empis played the majority of the season in the end. But we do want to bring in top quality left back for that role, and a centre back, and then a defence midfielder is also something else I'm looking at. Herbie Kane has done well in defence midfield. However, he's more of a box-to-box midfielder, to be honest. But when you compare him to Conrad Lema, who was our current box-to-box midfielder, he falls behind him just a little bit. I bought Herbie Kane, if you remember, back in the first season for about £600,000 or £700,000 it was, and he has been a magnificent player. He's improved one heck of a lot. But if I can get a decent defence midfielder in, I'll probably be looking to move Herbie Kane on and get a substantial profit for him as well, worth 17 million at the moment. Jack Watmore, as I was saying, I think we'll be looking to replace him. He's kind of worth 9 million. We bought him for, I think it's about nearly 2 million. That's £900,000 in the first season. So again, we'll be making a nice big profit on him if we can sell him for around about his value. The left back spot, again, is the next position I want to try and improve. Empis has improved so well since I bought him. It was in the 2nd season. I got him a free transfer from Sport in Lisbon, and he has been a prominent member of the first team. As you can see, he's made a lot of appearances, and his average rate has been decent. The first year in the Premiership, he struggled a little bit. However, this year he's improved a lot as far as his performances go. I like to keep Empis, but Matt Target He's not on the list. I think I have already sold him. I'm getting a lot more business done very early on, and I'll be looking to bring in a better left back. If we put the players into appearance order, we can see that Ben Davies played the most amount of games, which is fitting really, as he is our captain. Played 45 games, scoring 4 goals, 2 assists, with 5 player and match awards, with an average rating of 7.07. Coming down the list, we can see the majority of these players have been, you can see that the first team players here come down to as far as shotting. These 16 players have played the most amount of games, and rightly so, they are the better players in the side. Top scorer of the year, Ben Falami, scored 32 goals. He was also the Premiership's top goal scorer, which we'll go back to in a second. Jaffa Guitar scoring 16 goals, 18 years old as well. His attributes are so good, and his media description is a wonder kid, and hopefully he's going to turn into an absolute world beater. Afonso was the rotational striker. He bagged 12 goals as well. Again, another youngster, 19 years old, also described as a wonder kid. With these 3 strikers here, Falami, Guitar and Afonso, I've got high hopes going into next year, especially with Carpentier, who's due to come in next season as well. Casey Palmer done well. He particularly strived in the box-to-box midfield role in when I changed him round. And next season, I'm probably going to look to change my tactic. The attacking midfielder has not been working very well for me, and I think I'm going to drop that back to a 3-man midfield. I'm either going to have 2 box-to-box midfielders either side of the deep line playmaker, or I will have a box-to-box midfielder and an advanced playmaker. I'm probably tinkering out, keep changing around, see which one works best. Apart from that, the tactic will stay the same. If we go back to the team stats on the Premier League, we can see we finished with the most yellow cards in the division, 70 yellow cards, 8 clear of the next team. It's part of our game. We play a high intensity, and we get stuck in, and we close down a lot. So I think that's a given that's going to happen. And as far as red cards go, we had the third amount of most red cards with 4, finishing behind QPR and Leeds, who had 5 red cards. Red cards, I mean yellow cards I think is acceptable, but to have 4 red cards is a lot. It is something I do want to try and cut out of the game. But when I've changed the tactic to stay on feet and slightly less close, and I'm still getting a lot of fouls and a lot of yellow cards anyway, so I think for that reason I've just stuck with the high intensity levels, as it does work better. Average attendance, United finished top, of course, with 78,000 at Old Trafford, far away the biggest stadium in the division. Tottenham 60,000, of course, with the new stadium being built now. We go down towards the bottom, we can see we are 16th place, an average attendance of £25,000. Our stayed £25,000 people. Our stadium is being expanded currently. I think come November time it should be up to 37,000, I believe. And we'll get to that in a second. But hopefully next year this average attendance will go a lot higher up, and we'll be looking to get about mid-table. As far as wages go in the division, we can see we are bottom of this table. We spend the least on wages over the course of a year, and the fact that we have finished 7th in the Europa League, it shows the job these players are doing at the moment. We are very much overachieving, and the wages, I think the wages will go up quite a lot next season. So I've got a few contracts I need to renew. I've also got some better players I'm looking to bring in. So this salary per annum, I'd imagine we'll probably reach more 13th, 14th next season. As far as player overview goes, Ben Falami did finish the Premiership's top scorer with 25 goals. Javitar also making the top 5 with 14 goals. So that is brilliant. Going forward, this is exciting for the club. But it's just the defensive side we need to sort out. We shipped a lot of goals last season, and there's a few games where I think we lost 4 or 5 now. So we need to fix that, and that is our priority in the summer. As far as assists go, Trent Alexander-Arnold's got 11 assists for Liverpool. Alexis Sailmaker's come second with 10. Our new signing last season, a big bumper signing. I think we spent 22 million on him in the end. He come in to replace Castagni, 18 million we spent, and he done a fine job at right back. And as a youngster, he's only 22 years old, he's still got a lot of room for growth as well. According to the stars, he's got half a star left to grow. Yeah, I think maybe his physicals could be pushed up a bit more next season, a few of his mentals, but he is definitely one for the future. So, relegated from the Premier League this year are Sheffield United, QPR and Cardiff. They're all going back down to the Championship, and coming up to the Premiership next year are And coming up to the Premiership next year from the Championship, Southampton won the league on 91 points. West Brom, of course, the team who we beat in the playoff final to get the Premiership a couple of years ago, they'll be coming up, so they'll be looking to get revenge on us next year. And Fulham also won promotion via the playoffs. Fulham back in the Premier League. Middlesbrough and Burnley missing out on the playoffs. And the Championship is what a great competition the Championship is. So many big teams with the likes of Middlesbrough, Burnley, Huddersfield, 3 teams that are in the Premiership not so long ago. You've got Derby County, Swansea, Everton, Villa, Palace, Norwich, Forest, and even Blackburn and Sunderland went back down to the League One. Such a difficult league to get out of. So glad we managed to get out there in the end. So as far as board requests go, we have got the stadium expansion in progress. It will be due to finish towards the end of November of this year, and that will take our capacity up to, let's have a quick look, I think that's about 37,000. If we go facilities, currently reduced by 2,900, planned expansion 11,000, so we'll be around about 35,000. So that is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Portland Road is growing, so is the whole club's growing, and that is what we want. That is our goal this save. We want to win the Premiership and the Champions League with a fully homegrown squad, but it's going to take time because we've got to build the whole infrastructure. Obviously we need to build the stadium as well to get the financial income to keep boosting us forward and improving the squad. Other board requests, we've got the training facilities and the youth facilities also being improved. They will be completed on the beginning of November this year. I said this last year that it's the last improvement. We need to get the best facilities. I was wrong. Hopefully this is the last time we need to improve the facilities, to have the best facilities at the club, and that would be brilliant for us as far as youth intakes go, because we can then get better crop of youth players coming through each year. Winners of the Champions League this season were Manchester City, beating Barcelona 1-0 in the final. Man City will be absolutely chuffed to bits for that. And we can see Manchester City have retained it actually, because they won it last year as well, beating Liverpool. And the year before that, Manchester United won it. So that's 3 years in the trot, an English club has won the Champions League. Massive, massive news for English football, and that is brilliant. Will we make it a 4th year on the trot? Will Man City make it a 3rd year on the trot? I mean, the Champions League stayed in Manchester for 3 years now. Winners of the Europa League in the end were RB Leipzig. They beat AC Milan. The team knocked us out 3-0. Very comfortable victory for RB Leipzig, and they are a team certainly on the up. They won the Europa League. Tottenham won it the year before, Dortmund the year before, and RB Leipzig won it in the first year when we started this game. So 2 Europa Leagues for RB Leipzig. They are definitely on the up. FA Cup, Manchester United won on penalties after drawing 1-1 at full time. Good result for Man United, at least winning the FA Cup. Carabao Cup was won by Liverpool. Liverpool beat Manchester United 4-1. A big victory here. Let's have a look who scored the goals. Arthur, Ben Woodburn, Van Dijk and Mo Salah. Mo Salah still going strong for Liverpool. Worth £84 million. Jesus, that's a hell of a lot. He has been fantastic for Liverpool since the beginning of the side. First season he scored 17, then 18, then 14. However, last year he only scored 4 goals. But he still played a lot of games and got a good average rating, I suppose, from that games he played. So I'd imagine he was probably playing more as a winger last season. So transfers coming in, we have got a few transfers confirmed. Alphonse Agnero, a defence midfielder. I think we've already gone over in one of the episodes. He's going to be joining next season. Next season, is it? Let's have a look. He joins next season. Alphonse Agnero is going to be our young defence midfielder. Hopefully, be one for the future, and will be part of our homegrown squad. Stuart Serda is the defence midfielder we are currently in contract talks with. £20 million I've put a bid in for. Hopefully, he's going to be a big player. Great attributes, brilliant physicals. He can also play box to box very well as well, but he is really going to be my defensive midfielder for next season. And Harry Kane, I'm looking to sell on. And Flynn Downs, I have decided to keep at the club as he is homegrown, and he's got a good determined personality as well, which is decent. So Serda and Downs will be our 2 defence midfielders next year, as long as contract talks are successful. Borna Sosa is the left back I've decided to sign to bring in for £20 million. Another, again, that's a big outlay for a player, but that's what we need. We need to bring in these bigger players for the club. A fairly ambitious personality, attacking fullback, and his attributes are very good. The physicals are decent, mentals are decent, and technicals, they're good where we need them to be. Tackling, marking, passing could be higher, but crossing and technique are the main technicals really we need for the left back in our tactic, as our complete wing backs, we're relying on them to get forward. Again, they need good physical attributes, which he has got, to get back and forth and put early crosses into the box for our two strikers to get onto the end of. We've also signed Chris Meehan, a central defensive ball-playing defender, for 25 million altogether. This will rise to paying 15 million up front. 24 years old, very good attributes, great physicals, great mentals, good technicals as well. He's a brilliant player. He's been at Brentford since the beginning of this save, and he has been playing well. He's been in the Championship for the first 3 years, played his first year in the Premier League last season and done well, scoring 4 goals. He is a bit of a unit, 6'3", great strength, great jumping reach, and also good heading. Hopefully he'll be able to get forward and put a few goals in from the corners. So that'll be Chris Meehan and Ben Davies next year as a central back partnership. Jack Watmore, I have got to try and move on. Leaving the club, we've got Matthew Targett. He is set to join West Brom for 5 million in this season. It's about 3 million profit, I think. 2.5 million profit we made on Target just from one season, so that's good. I was happy to be able to move him on for that amount of money, as he didn't play very well last year. Wellington is finally going to be moving on, as he has become basically surplus to requirements since we changed our tactic from the game press inside forwards to the narrow 4-4-2 diamond. Barracotta's also being moved on. Good young player, really. He's probably decent League One player, I guess. Just haven't got room for him. He's not really going to play, so I might as well move him on. Connor Hazard as well, a player we signed in the save, hasn't played at all actually, I don't think. If we have a look, he hasn't played one single league game since we signed him. He's had a couple of loans out. He played for Orient last season, playing a large chunk of their games and done okay, didn't do great, but he's got to move away from the club. He'll be joining Livingston at the end of the season. As far as the finances go, we are currently on overall balance of £56 million, and our projection for the end of next season is 71 million, and the end of next 83 million. So the finances are still looking very, very good. Improving the stadium and getting that up is only going to help that. So hopefully we can keep building the whole infrastructure at the club. Best 11 of our squad this year was Freddie Woodman in goal, the back four of Empis, Watmore, Davies and Sailmakers, Herbie Kane defence midfield with Nydam and Dazelle in the central midfield positions, Casey Palmer attack midfield with Qatar and Falami up front. Nydam is another player I'm probably looking to try and move on this summer. It was a toss up between him and Dazelle, and Dazelle's just, he's performed better. He's got better technicals as well, although Nydam's better physically. I think Dazelle is the better prospect of the two, so we will be relying on Dazelle as a deep line playmaker, and we have got a young central midfielder in Gavin Clark, who have been trying to get into the squad the last few years. His attributes have improved over this season, so he is going to be the backup to Andre Dazelle next year. Hopefully it doesn't come back and bite me in the arse, because having Dazelle and Nydam, both decent players. Yeah, Gavin Clark is not quite the same level as Nydam. He's not far behind, but hopefully he should do a good job. So if we just quick look at the results, we can see our best result of the season was at the beginning of last year against Tottenham. We spanked them 7-2. Qatar hat-trick, Falami hat-trick and Dazelle. Now, if you remember the beginning of last season, we had an absolute stonking great start. Beat Liverpool 3-2, Tottenham 3-1, and Chelsea 3-1 and Tottenham 7-2. It all come back down with a massive crash bang as Man City spanked us 4-0. But it was a good start to the season. If I remember right, at the beginning of the season, we were at dizzy heights. If we can just try and find it here, competitions. So at the beginning of the season, we were up in the top 6 till about the 20th game, and then we dropped down to 9th, and we had to settle in the end for 7th. It was a bit of a fight in the end, but we made it. But next year, we definitely want to push. So I think that will basically be it for this season for the review. I don't think there's a lot more to really go over. If I have missed anything, do let me know, and maybe I should start writing bullet points of what I need to make you guys aware of what's happened over the season. But I think I've pretty much gone over most stuff that I need to. We'll be back tomorrow for the Season 5 preview. Got some big signings. I've already basically given away who I'm signing, as you've just seen, but there are a few more players I have moved on and sold, which you'll see in the next episode, and we will be ready to kick off this episode on Monday Come on, you Blues. Cheers, guys. See you later.